Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, we'll be predicting the four-card fights for UFC Fight Night, Gane versus Spivac. Before we get into the predictions for this week, we'll quickly recap last week's card. So last week, I went 10-2. Well, not 2. I went 11-2, 11-13. Solid night for me. Good on bets, good on everything. But the free parlay didn't hit. That's the one thing I did not, I guess, look, the one sour taste in my mouth is that the free parlay didn't hit. And it's not a case of, oh, this is a bad bet. Well, not a bad bet. It was just, oh, I got a bad decision or whatnot. It happens and whatnot. But end of the day, every single day, win or loss, or it's stuff to learn from it. And there's definitely stuff to learn from the loss with Bedoya. Putting confidence in the fighter who's unproven. Like, he fought good against Chaos Williams, but fighting good and losing is not as good as fighting and winning and stacking up wins on your resume. So putting a lot of confidence in the fighter, that unaccomplished, coming in at minus 300, like near minus 300, that was just a bad decision. Like, if it would have hit, it would have hit. It was close to hitting, but it didn't hit at the end of the day. And that's just something I got to do a better job of doing and not giving out, I guess, picks where it's just like pretty much unverified fighter. But yeah, other than that, solid night. I think most of it was pretty spot on. I had the round with Max Holloway, finish him in third round on point. Top 1 point. I had like 4 or 5 perfects for the card, so it was a real good card, to be honest. But right. I always like to focus on my mistakes, because that's how you get better. Like, you gotta praise your wins, but focus on the L's where you can get better, and that's why y'all been saying me get better week after week after week. So what's on focus on, but yeah, solid night. Parlay didn't hit, but I'm gonna try to give y'all a better parlay this week for the free. And now over to NickyBets for his recap.
Yeah, man, we did great last week. My 6-leg parlay hit. It was a solid parlay. Your parlay was solid too. I think you definitely had a lock there. It's just, nobody saw that coming. Just like the Damon Blackshear situation, where everybody thought Damon Blackshear won, but Mario Batista won. So it happens, but 11-2 is great, man. I did 9-4. I did pick some people that I didn't think were gonna win, like Chitty. I said that his opponent would win, and so yeah, I could have done a little bit better, but my 6-leg parlay hit, which is my goal ultimately, to give you guys the parlays that will hit. But yeah, I think we did great. I have a couple questions just before we get started about last week. Just your thoughts. What do you think's next for Max Holloway? Because Dana White said that he's not fighting for the title.
I think next for Max Holloway, you guys are going to be hoping Volkanovski loses, but he can't hope. He got to make decisions. He got to make fights. So I think the best thing for him to do is go up to 55, because at 45, all he's going to do is stop other people from getting shots, because he's not going to get a shot. So why take up shots away from other people if you can't get a shot? So that's go up to 55 for the time being. I think he could do well at 55, especially if he give his body time to adapt to the weight class instead of just trying to come in on short notice. But yeah, waiting out Volk is not gonna be a good move. Or maybe he wait. Yeah, this is not a good move. No matter how I look at it, it's just not a good move for Max Holloway. Because I don't think Volk's losing anytime soon. But hey, maybe Ilia Topuria gets that shot sooner, and then Ilia Topuria puts that shot on his button and put him to sleep, and then you got a whole new shakeup. And Max Holloway's the prime contender. He's still I think they say only 31 years old. So hey, it's not the worst thing. It's not like he's 35 trying to wait him out. He could maybe wait 2 years, but I still think it's best to stay active. While you're in your prime, stay active instead of trying to wait out. Then you end up waiting, some other better guy come in and you get rusty, they beat you. So I'm thinking 55. Maybe not fully adjust to 55, and maybe pick your opponents well and you stylistically well. Do the smart thing. He's a former champion, so he could afford to. He could afford to cherry pick some fights and get himself near the rankings, and without taking too much damage, and without having to fully commit to the weight class. So in the case Volkanovski does lose the belt, he could drop back down. So that'd probably be his best route. So kind of move to 55. Don't really fight. Pick your fights smart, and then if Volkanovski does lose in the next few years, go down. And meanwhile, he could be working his way up to getting a title shot at 55. And already being a former champion, he's going to get thrusted over. Probably like most of the people probably be already top 15 or get a top 15 opponent in his first fight there. And again, he can still pick his opponent well. Yeah, that's my thoughts for Max Holloway.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's a beautiful perspective on what he could do. I think he goes out and fights, I think the UFC should give him money fights at 155, like him and Dustin Poirier, him and not Charles Oliveira, but probably like maybe Justin Gaethje. I think a Justin Gaethje Max Holloway fight would be phenomenal. And if he, like you said, he gave him his body time to adjust, I think it would prove him well. Like some people go down, like a lot of people will go from heavyweight all the way down to middleweight, and it works. But sometimes you got to do the reverse. You got to go up in weight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think's next for Giga Jakaze? Because he was a minus 238 on the books, and his opponent was minus 900. So what do you think's next for him?
Minus 100. But yeah. As far as Giga Chikaze, I'm not really too hype on his win. I know Alex Caceres is a awkward fighter. He's a veteran, and he's tough. It's very hard to look good against Alex Caceres unless you just take him down and submit him. If you got the BJJ chops to do it. But yeah, I was not impressed. I mean, he had a layoff and whatnot. It's good to get back and win. But I think what's next for him is maybe a Sodiq Yusuff. Sodiq Yusuff beats Essen Barboza. That's a good matchup for him. What's his name? Bryce
Mitchell?
Yeah, Bryce Mitchell. That's his name. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell. That could be a good matchup for him, potentially. Bryce Mitchell's looking for opponent. He's trying to get back up, rebound from a loss to Ilia Topuria. And maybe a Yair Rodriguez. So he was calling Yair Rodriguez. So he's calling out at least one right fighter. But yeah, he's calling out one right fighter. So the use if he gets past Essen Barboza is a good opponent for him. Bryce Mitchell's a good opponent, and he already called out Yair Rodriguez. But I feel like Yair Rodriguez is above him right now. He just come off a title loss, so I don't think he's gonna get that matchup. But hey, if he gets it, I think it's a good decent matchup. But do I feel like he really deserves it right now? And I don't. But yeah, those are three matchups. So either Sodiq Yusuff if he gets past Essen Barboza, Bryce Mitchell, or Yair Rodriguez trying to get a rebound fight. What do you think about his next matchup?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think he needs a higher ranked opponent. Who that's going to be is up in the air, because I think Bryce Mitchell would be a perfect matchup for him. It would set him up to either fight, a contender or be a contender himself. So that's a big fight. I think Bryce Mitchell would be perfect for him. Edison Barboza, I think he's out of his prime. I don't think he would win against Giga, but I definitely think Giga versus Bryce Mitchell would be a stamp in his resume to build him up to do something good. But yeah, I definitely think Bryce Mitchell's a lock for his next opponent if the UFC wants to make good money. What do you think is next for Erin Blanchfield?
Next for Erin Blanchfield, she had a phenomenal performance, to be honest. It was a very close fight, but I think she pulled it away. I think she was the right winner. And that was a very high level fight too, between two people who were on the cusp of a title shot. So I think she really could get a title shot in her next fight. So whoever wins between Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko in the next fight, I think she should get that title shot. All depending if they get injured or not, or hurt or whatnot. The winner does. Then maybe it's gonna be some layoff. Then maybe she'll fight someone for like an interim belt, or she'll have one more fight. But yeah, in reality, I would say pretty much wait for that title shot. Like somebody gets injured, unless there's a vacant title shot. Well, not vacant, unless there's an interim title belt going online because someone gets injured and now some time off. She should just wait for the title because she's right there. It's really like no other fight makes sense. Like, why would she fight Manny Fiorot, or if Manny Fiorot gets past Rose, or why fight Rose if Rose gets past Manny Fiorot? Like, it's a risk that she don't need to take. I mean, it would give her a lot of praise for doing it, but it's ultimately not the smartest move. And it's not a necessary move. She's right there for a title shot, and she should just wait for it. How do you think about that matchup, or how will you think she should do next?
Yeah, I think Erin Blanchfield should do the Sean O'Malley thing. I think she should wait for her shot. I think she's proven herself. I think it's too risky to try and fight another opponent that's a contender. She should just she earned her stripes, and she should hold them until it's her turn to get a shot. I think I think she would do well against Valentina Shevchenko, but I honestly don't have a prediction yet. I'd have to watch a couple of both of their last fights to get that one. But yeah, I think she deserves a title shot. But
All right, I like that.
yeah.
All right. That's all for the recap, and now to the predictions. So in our first fight, we have in the women's catchweight bout at 140 between Zara Fairn versus Jacqueline Calvacanti. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence, Jacqueline Calvacanti. I just feel like it's another one of these cases where a fighter that's unproven, you don't really know how good she is. We know that Zara Fairn is old. We know that her UFC career is like didn't pan out for her as far as right now, and I don't think it's going to change. She's pushing 40 or is 40, so it's not like she's going to turn around and be some prospect or a contender or not. That's not happening. So it's all things that seem like Calvacanti should win. She does seem like the better overall fighter, the more rounded fighter. So I'm gonna lean to her, but ultimately I'm not gonna go high or lock confidence with her because we don't know who she is just yet. So I think Jacqueline Calvacanti wins by like a second round TKO. I think she's gonna mix up on the striking, do well in that department. Then she's gonna be able to drag to the mat and pound her out in the second round. So in this one, I have Jacqueline Calvacanti via second round TKO. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, Zahara, I'm gonna say her first name. That's my first time saying it. She's 6-5, but her last fight leaves a lot of questions because she did really well. I think she was an underdog and almost won in the beginning, but I see Jacqueline Cavalcanti winning. I have a high confidence in her, just because she's on a trajectory, and Zahara is 6-5, which is, not very good for a UFC career and not a good resume to have because you're basically half and half. But I see Jacqueline win this one probably over 1.5, like you said. Get to those strikes to get to the ground game, and she finishes her in the third. So yeah, my official bet is Jacqueline by third round submission.
Submission. All right. Now to our next one, we have in the bantamweight division, we got Farid Basharat versus Clayton Rodrigues. And how I feel about this one right here is first off, well, let me see. Confidence, I'm gonna say high confidence for Farid Basharat, but prediction wise, first off, this fight is at bantamweight and not flyweight. So Clayton Rodrigues is coming up to fight Farid Basharat at his weight class because I guess Clayton Rodrigues probably couldn't make the weight, or he just, I don't know. There's some reason, but either way, he's not fighting at 125, where I feel like he has the best perspective in his career. And it's quick, and he's coming up here and fighting a fighter who I just feel like stylistically matches up with him very well. I think Basharat can address the wrestling or grappling of Rodrigues. Rodrigues is a very explosive, athletic fighter, and I will give him that advantage. But I feel like Farid Basharat is the overall more technical fighter. And I feel like he should be able to take him out of the first round and just really start to put a clinic on him and start to go run away with the striking total. I think Clayton Rodrigues is going to give him a good fight throughout, but I think Farid Basharat is just going to be the cleaner, more technical fighter and the more economical fighter, whereas Clayton Rodrigues is going to try to be more explosive, land the big shot, land the big motions, try to go for big takedowns when he's not. No, he's getting a little bit frustrated on the feet. And Basharat is going to be stuffing the takedown, stand smooth, stand tactical, and working behind the jab, using his footwork. And yeah, just taking advantage of the smaller man who's just trying to be more explosive, more athletic, but not being more economical. And just, yeah, run away with the striking total and beat him in a decision victory. So in this one, I have Farid Basharat via decision. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I tend to agree. About 90% of what you said is on point. He's overall a great fighter, but I think it's over 1.5 is live for this fight. Just because Clayton's so explosive, I think Farid's gonna pick him apart, but I see him picking him apart and probably getting a late second round, either TKO or maybe a submission if he gets him to the ground. But I see Clayton coming out strong, probably throwing very explosive punches that if Farid got hit, he would feel it. But I think Farid's just a little bit sharper than Clayton, and it's going to work in his favor. So my bet is very high confidence Farid Basharat for over 1.5.
All right, so you're leaning Farid Basharat there. And
Yep.
Now to our next fight, we have in the women's bantamweight division, we got Nora Cornolle versus Jocelyn Edwards. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence Jocelyn Edwards to beat Nora Cornolle. Norcanoli's like 34, 35, something like that. Going there with Jocelyn Edwards is only 27. And like the age difference, like I said, nearly a decade of age difference. And Jocelyn Edwards is the veteran. She's the one with like 4 or 5, 6 UFC fights, I believe. I think she got 1 or 2 losses in the UFC. But yeah, she's the fighter with the UFC experience, and she's the much younger fighter between the two. And Nora Canoli just has not fought anyone yet. She's just been can crushing, and she's even with that she has a loss. Well, she didn't. Well, she fought one decent fighter, and that decent fighter beat her, and that was Cavalcanti. But yeah, other than that, she's been can crushing. Even though Jocelyn Edwards doesn't blow you away, I had to lean her. She's younger, more experienced, and I feel she's prepared to deal with anything that Nora Canoli does. And at the very worst, she's gonna go out there and eke out a close decision. But I think no matter how the fight goes, I think it's gonna be a decision type victory for either fighter. But the fight I'm clearly leaning to is Jocelyn Edwards here. I think she's going to be the better overall fighter, and I think the experience is going to help her a lot to get to her hand raised. She's been in close fights, and she has needed to pick up the volume in later rounds to win fights because she's always seems to be in that situation. So she's definitely going to be the one when work needs to be done to get the win or get her hand raised. She's going to already have plenty of experience to do that. And again, at the very worst, this is going to be a close decision fight. And who better to win in that fight than the younger, more proven, more tested fighter who's pretty much all her fights have been that style of fight in the UFC. So in this one, I have Jocelyn Edwards via decision. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I think Nora is she's a great fighter. I'm on the fence with this one. I wanted to say Nora, but since Jocelyn's on a 3-fight win streak and you're betting her, I'm gonna go with the safe bet, which is Jocelyn. I think Nora has the ability to maybe squeak out a decision, maybe like a split decision at best, but Jocelyn has the ability to get, the fight done where she needs it, and she wins at least over 1.5. I agree that probably goes the distance, and I think over 1.5 is a very safe bet for this one. So I'm going Jocelyn by over 1.5.
All right, I like that one. All right, now to the next one we have in the welterweight division, we got Loosa versus Riz McKee. And how I feel this one right here is I'm going low confidence Riz McKee to beat Loosa. So right now, Riz McKee, I think it's like a plus 125 underdog here. And it is a risky prediction, I guess, a little bit of a risky prediction, or I guess. But yeah, I just feel like Loosa, I feel like stylistically, when I look at his losses, there's been fights where he's been outworked, outpointed. I feel like Riz McKee could do that. I feel like he's the more technical striker. I feel like as far as the fighter, when I look at Loosa, I see a guy that has good takedown offense. He's durable. He's a guy that it's hard to bully necessarily, but I feel like he can be a guy that's easy to land points on and outwork and out volume. And I feel like Riz McKee can take that route to beat him. So I feel like Loosa a lot of times could take tank damage and just stay in your face and tag you. But I feel like Riz McKee can use his lateral motions, tag him with the jab a little bit, throw a volume, throw a lot of combination out there, and just try to keep him off him and not move straight back too much. And I think he can eke out a very close decision over Loosa here. So in this one, I have Riz McKee via decision. Not over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I think Angelus has a beautiful jab that creates opportunity for him to set up his takedowns. I see him winning this one just because Riz McKee has, he's failed where he should have had some opportunity. Like he fought Hamzat Chimaev, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that fight, he just got dominated. And I think if Ange can bring some different styles to Riz and keep him questioning what Ange is gonna do, I think Ange wins this. So I'm gonna go medium confidence Angelus over 1.5.
And what Pat, you think he's gonna win a decision? You think he's gonna win a knockout?
I think it's a decision. Yeah, I think decision is the safest bet. I for Ange.
All right, so Ange's decision. So now to our next fight, we have in the bantamweight division, we got Taylor Lapilus versus Cowlin Loughran. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence Taylor Lapilus, or let me make sure his name Taylor. His name is definitely Taylor Lapilus. Yeah, average confidence Taylor Lapilus to beat Cowlin Loughran. Really, why my confidence kind of average, not potentially high here, is I do feel, despite Lapilus never been knocked out, I do feel like he kind of chinny. I don't like the way he reacts to some shots. But who knows? It could be kind of like a Phil Davis, Aljamain type of reaction. A lot of times they get hit, but don't really get hit all that clean. But they just don't like to get hit sometimes, so they overreact to shots, so it look like they're getting hurt more than they are when they do get tagged. But despite all that, Lapilus has never been submitted. He's never been knocked out. And I do think he's the more technical fighter. I think he's far more experienced than Cal in long run. And despite them being the same height on paper, I feel like Lapilus is going to look like the much longer fighter with his arms, legs, and his height. I feel like he'll look like the much longer fighter. And he also likes to play with that distance a little bit as well. And he could be able to pull out counters on Cal in the long run when he gets over aggressive and land clean counters, and definitely give him something to respect. Probably clip him a couple times in the fight, but mostly just really play with that distance and draw out over aggression from long run, then make him frustrated, make him shoot takedowns, get back up or stuff to takedown. Then continue this to be very mobile, moving laterally, moving straight back, trying to pull out counters, moving at angles and stuff. And just be able to be the more experienced, more technical fighter and the overall better fighter on the night. So in this one, I have Taylor Lapilus via decision. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, looks like Collins won 8-0, so he's on a run right now. But I do think Taylor has the crisper strikes. He's got an 80% takedown defense. I like him to win, but I think I don't think that he gets it done. I think Moon is a great wrestler. He's an okay striker, but if you striker versus wrestler, look at the situation with these two. You thought that the person who was a better wrestler was going to win, and it was actually the striker who won. So I respect the Taylor pick, but I'm going for the wrestler in this one. I think that he gets it done over 1.5, maybe, but I think he gets it done by decision if he wins. So my official pick is Muin by decision.
So long run decision. All right.
Yep.
Now to our next fight, we got in the featherweight division. We got Morgan Charriere versus Manolo Zecchini. And how I feel this one right here is I'm going high confidence Manolo Zecchini to not Manolo. I'm going high confidence Morgan Charriere to beat Manolo Zecchini. So Morgan Charriere, high confidence to beat Manolo Zecchini. And I just feel like this fight, not because Morgan Charriere is just such a great talent. I mean, he has a good talent, but he still definitely needs to be verified, needs to be checked, needs to get a win in the UFC, get his feet wet, and actually get a win, not just fight in the UFC or whatnot, or not just be signed to the UFC. So he still got some proving to do. We got he got some work to do. But I'll give him a high confidence here. I just feel like this is a matchup where he's fighting a guy they're bringing a guy in for him to fight to win because they want, I guess, to build up more French fighters. So I clearly see them trying to build him up. And I think he has a talent that they're, getting behind. His record obviously a little bit more questionable for a guy that's had so much perspective. I think he had like 9 losses.
Right.
But I do think that based on watching Zecchini and watching Charriere, I think Charriere is the more athletic fighter. I think he's the more technical fighter. I think wrestling's very underrated, very fast and quick and smooth with it. Then he has good shots, good strikes, good combination on inside. I guess my big concern here is that sometimes he does hang in the pocket a little bit too much, but he does move his head pretty well in there. But anytime you get too comfortable in the pocket, that leaves opportunity for you to get caught, upset. But I don't think Zecchini's going to be a beat him here. I feel like Morgan Charriere is going to be to mix it up. And if he does get hurt, clipped without getting knocked out cold, I feel like he can definitely recover pretty well, go for the takedown and mix it up. But ultimately, I think just the better overall fighter. Probably fill out first round, probably break him down first round, then put him out second round. So in this one, I have Morgan Charriere via second round TKO. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I agree. 18-9 to 11-3. You would think the guy with the better record wins, but I just don't like this fight for Manolo. I think Morgan's the more experienced fighter, like you said. He's a slow starter, so over 1.5 is definitely live for me. But I have a low confidence in Morgan to win this one. But I think he gets it done either third round or decision. Those two sound plausible to me. But Manolo has, the ability to come in there and do something spectacular. So that's why I have a low confidence in Morgan. But for this one, I got low confidence, Morgan by decision.
All right, Morgan Charriere. All right. Now to our next fight, we have our first fight on the main card in the featherweight division. We got William Gomis versus Giannis Ghemmouri. So another one of these fights that's been rescheduled. First it was supposed to be this, now it's been rescheduled, and they've been swapped opponents basically. But how I feel about this one right here is I'm going William Gomis, average confidence to beat Giannis Ghemmouri. I feel like Giannis Ghemmouri was a great talent. I mean, I'm saying he was. He is a great talent. But I feel like he's been switched over and fighting an opponent that's, has had a chance to fight in the UFC several times and win in the UFC several times. I think he currently 2-0 in the UFC. So, and I feel like Gomis, I think they said they had the same height or something similar on the Tapology and on their fight metrics and whatnot. But they just recently took a picture together, like all the French fighters, and he looked notably taller than him. So he looked notably taller, notably longer. And I feel like every area that Ghemmouri is good, and I feel like Gomis is better in. And on top of that, again, having that experience, everything. At the end of the day, if it's a very close fight or even a bit of a close fight, I'm gonna lean to the guy that has experience. And on top of that, he has the length, the speed, the athleticism advantage. Then on top of that, like experience and all that stuff. So I got to go Gomis average confidence. It's not like a big clear advantage. Like, oh god, this guy's has a grappling efficiency that he can exploit, or this guy has a striking efficiency that he can exploit. It just kind of comes down to a fight where I feel like it's gonna be pretty close, pretty competitive. But I think Gomis' experience will come through. I think his length going to come through. And I think experience, athletics, I think all those things going to be to edge him over. And I think he gets a pretty clear decision. Competitive fight, but clear decision for William Gomis here. So in this one, I have William Gomis via decision. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I like Giannis in this one. I think he's a slow starter, doesn't waste his energy. I think he gets the shots, and I think that he's only got one loss, and Gomis only has two losses, which is eerily similar. But I want Giannis to win this one because I like him, so I'm going Giannis. Low confidence, but I could see Gomis putting in the work and out maneuvering Giannis, but I have a low confidence in Giannis to win this one, probably by decision. So I'm going Giannis by decision.
All right, Giannis. Now to our next fight, we have in the light heavyweight division, we got Volkan Oezdemir versus Bogdan Guskov. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence with Volkan Oezdemir. And then yet another fight, the confidence could be higher, but Volkan Oezdemir, it's not like he's trending right now. It's like he's streaking right now. It's not like he's riding a 2-fight winning streak or even a 1-fight winning streak. But yeah, when you look at his losses, you can't really rate him too much. Well, I mean, not in this one particularly. Like, I feel, Daniel Cormier, you really can't put that against him. That's Daniel Cormier. He got submitted by Anthony Smith. That's kind of a case wherein Anthony Smith was able to extend to the later rounds and tap him out. Bogdan Guskov really just got striking. He really just relying on a puncher's chance. Only time he fought a really decent or any notable opponent, he got knocked out, starts pretty bad. Bogdan Guskov did. Since then, he's just been can crusher, so I can't really rate his skill set. But I do gotta fear respect the puncher's chance in his power. He does got some heavy hands, but so does Volkan Oezdemir. And then on top of that, Volkan Oezdemir got much better technique than him. So I'm gonna lean to the more technical fighter. And also, he could probably take away some of that power off those punches by attacking his legs. One thing I guess people forget a little bit is that Volkan Oezdemir does got some good leg kicks, and he can chop those legs down, and then take away some of that planning power from Bogdan Guskov, or maybe force him to switch stance. And then from there, just start to stalk him down and put him out. And I'm gonna say first round for Volkan Oezdemir. So chew the legs up, take away his planning ability or his ability to plant the way he wants to generate power, and start to plant his own feet and start to land those big heavy shots. Put Bogdan Guskov on the back foot and knock him out against the cage. So in this one, I got Volkan Oezdemir via first round TKO. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I think Volkan's experience is going to be the factor in the octagon in this one. I think Bogdan, he's 14-2, which is a great record, powerful and scrappy. But I'm not betting on him to win. I'm betting on Volkan to win inside the distance. That's a pretty high confidence just because Volkan has the experience and he knows that this fight means something for his career because he's 18-7, so he's got a lot to prove, and I think that he does that in this fight. So my official pick is Volkan inside the distance.
All right, good. Now to our next one. We have in the lightweight division, we got Benoit Saint Denis versus Thiago Moises. And how I feel about this one right here. I'm going low confidence Thiago Moises to beat Benoit Saint-Denis. I feel like Benoit Saint-Denis is a good fighter. He's a great. Oh, I'm not gonna say good. I'm not gonna say great. It's too easy to say about somebody's a great fighter. Like they still got a lot to prove. But yeah, Benoit Saint-Denis is a solid fighter, and I could definitely see why he's the favorite here. Seems like he's a more aggressive striker. He's a more durable guy and all that stuff. So he's durable. He could push the pace and potentially break down Thiago Moises. But I gotta like Thiago Moises here. I feel like he has fought much higher level competition than Benoit Saint-Denis to this point, and he's only 1 year older than Benoit Saint-Denis. I give him the grappling upside. And again, we have not really seen Benoit Saint-Denis fight this level of competition. Yes, you look good, but you have not fought this level of competition just yet. So I think Thiago Moises being younger, or not younger, but being only 1 year older and having a wealth more of experience fighting the higher level guys, and all these losses you have, you can't really say, oh, he has such a bad losses or whatnot.
Right.
He's been doing pretty well, and he's had decent wins on the resume, not just competing with good guys, but beating good guys. So I gotta go Thiago Moises. I'm gonna like his experience here, and I feel like he's gonna be able to extend Benoit Saint-Denis, start to score takedowns on Benoit Saint-Denis, force aggression out of Saint-Denis, and be able to capitalize on the aggression of Saint-Denis. And while Saint-Denis is really firing with a lot of power, I think Moises gonna be looking cleaner, more composed, and again, all that experience from being in the UFC, longer and being at the top or being further up in the division for a long time. So, yeah, I'm going with the experience of Thiago Moises here to be able to make the adjustments in the fight, mixing takedowns, and exploit the aggression of Saint-Denis and turn it to his favor, score some takedowns, neutralize submission skill, drain the clock, probably land some counters, eke out a close decision over Benoit Saint-Denis. So in this one, I have Thiago Moises via decision. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going with Thiago Moises on this one. You know, he fought Bobby Green, won. He fought Islam Makhachev and got submitted in the 4th round. He fought Beneil Dariush for, 3 full rounds. So he has the experience. I think Benoit, he's a French Navy SEAL. So the dude is, different. He's built different. And I think Thiago Moises, his record, he's a legend at this sport at this point, with his fights. He moved up the ladder very quickly. I can't show enough respect to him, but I think Benoit gets this one done. I think over 1.5, Benoit is a safe bet. And I think Thiago Moises just can't outcompete someone who is ready to die on their shield. I think Thiago Moises would die on his shield, but Benoit, he went to the French Navy SEALs and then became a UFC fighter, and he's 11-1. So I think his momentum is going to carry him through this fight, and I think it's Benoit over 1.5 is my official pick.
All right, go on. All right, now to our next fight. We have in our co-main event in the women's flyweight division, we got Manon Fiorot versus Rose Namajunas. So we got a former undisputed, well, 2-time undisputed women's strawweight champion, Rose Namajunas versus Manon Fiorot. I'm going Rose Namajunas, low confidence to beat Manon Fiorot. I'm just kind of getting very much Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas, one type of vibe from this one. No, you got a fighter riding pretty good momentum here. Rose is the dog in the fight on the odds. And I'm not really saying that's super spectacular about Manon Fiorot. She's bigger, she's physical, but it's not like she's so technical. It's not like she got no real special technique or no real, nothing that really stand out about her. She's bigger and she does, she's pretty much, that's really what come down to. She's bigger. She has strong, and that can help her in some cases, it helps you get there. But it really doesn't make you any stand out too much. It's good to get some wins off, build up wins and stay consistent, but nothing to really make you special yet from her. And I feel like Rose Namajunas is the more technical fighter. I think she's a faster fighter and clearly the more experienced fighter. And I think age is roughly the same. I haven't really delved too much into that. I think Rose might very well be younger. I think Rose still not even in her 30s yet. So 2 very solid fighters, but Rose, I feel, far more experienced, far more tested. Again, 2-time undisputed champion at strawweight. Coming up, and strawweights have been doing pretty well at flyweight. The current champion is a former strawweight in Alexa Grasso. So I think what I feel in this one, I feel like Rose is going to be able to land the cleaner, sharper shots, whereas Manon Fiorot is going to be very predictable and throwing the same combination, looking to pose her well, look to really touch her and be heavy and push her back. I feel like Rose gonna be able to cut angles, stick her with a jab, land clean counter, walk her to a shot. They really start to, touch her with some cheeks to the body, touch her with some shots to the leg. They really started to draw the hands out of Manny Fiorot and slip a kick or a counter on her. Or I think it's really gonna be a kick. I think it's gonna be a head kick set up. She's gonna land it, touch her right on dome, probably wobble Fiorot, make her drop to her butt. Then she's gonna follow her down, hit her like an uppercut while she's on her butt, then spin to her back, sink the hooks in, get that rear naked choke, and I think it happens in the second round. So in this one, I have Rose Namajunas via second round submission. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, this is a fight with so many question marks because Rose is, like you said, moving up. I think Manafjord, it's a tough opponent for Rose. I think that if she can impose her will, that she will. But I think Rose is, like you said, I think it's a Max Holloway type situation where she's moving up. If he moves up, I think she does great things at 125, and I think that she's not cutting as much weight, so her chin will be a little bit stronger. She'll be a little bit stronger. 10 pounds on a woman is a lot of weight, especially when it's in muscle. So yeah, for this one, I got Rose. I won't bet this one, but not even the props, but I see Rose getting it done inside the distance for sure. So my official pick, Rose inside the distance.
All right. Going with the dogs here. All right. Now to our next fight. We got in the main event. We have in the heavyweight division, we got Ciryl Gane versus Sergey Spivac. And how I feel about this one right here is I'm going average confidence Ciryl Gane to beat Sergey Spivac. I just feel like you can't really rate the losses of Gane too much. He lost the literal GOAT of MMA, and it's not even close, John Jones. Mm-hmm. And he lost to Francis Ngannou, who, still was a very close fight. Like, Ngannou went out there and wrestled him for 5 rounds and put him on his back and looked like he just went out there and really went full Khabib Nurmagomedov, I guess any wrestler. He didn't go Cain Velasquez on him and do that to him. It was a very close fight that really was won by a sweep. It's like Ngannou really went out there and wrestled him for 5 rounds. That's not what happened. It was a very close fight that Ngannou was able to eke by with a little bit of wrestling. It wasn't like a full wrestling pro. So people were just thinking, oh, he won. So it's not even really 2 fights he lost due to like actually fully involved. Like he got lost to a wrestler. It's not like, he lost 5 straight fights, all of them to wrestlers. That's not the case. He lost a close fight that was won by the hair of his chinny chin by Ngannou with some wrestling, the help of some wrestling. He never was really dominant or any danger in that fight. And then he got schooled by the GOAT. So it's really only 1 fight you could say he lost to an actual grappler by grappling, and that was to John Jones. So you can't really even factor Ngannou that. And I think so. Again, it was the unexpected factor of Ngannou wrestling. Who was expecting that? Who was thinking that? No one. So yeah, I think he's going to make big improvements. And even in the John Jones fight, I feel like the takedown didn't come necessarily that easy. And even when John Jones was going for submission, Ciryl Gane was working his way up well. He didn't respond well to the submission, but he was working his way up well. But all that being said, night and day difference in levels between those guys and Sergey Spivac. I think Ciryl will make the adjustments. He'll be able to defend the takedown well. He'll circle well, and he'll be able to tee off on Spivac. I don't think Spivac responds well to damage. I think he wilts pretty quickly. And I'm going first round TKO for Ciryl Gane here. I think he's going to be able to circle well, not allow himself to get back to the cage, attack the legs, attack the knees, really take out the forward motion of Spivac, then move laterally and attack him and tee off on him. So break him down the first half of the first round. Then in that second half of the first round, I think he puts him out, start to really go for the attack. So attack the leg, attack the body, walk him into counters, hurt him, put him away, first round. So in this one, I have Ciryl Gane via first round TKO. Now over to NickyBets.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I'm thinking as far as Ciryl Gane goes. The guy's a beast. His competition that he lost to is far superior to what Spivac is capable of. And I just, I think this is a fight like Tom Aspinall and Spivac, where Ciryl Gane just goes in there and KOs him. And that's what I see. I see him bouncing back from his loss. I see him coming in and making a statement. My official pick is Ciryl Gane by KO or Ciryl Gane inside the distance. But
right, I like that one.
Yeah.
All right. Now to wrap the video up, we're gonna come with our parlays. I'm gonna come with my parlay first, then NickyBets gonna come with his parlay, and then we're gonna wrap this video up. And then you guys gonna see us, with the recap next week, maybe some more stuff. Be on the lookout for his channel. I'm gonna link his channel below so you can check his channel out because we definitely be dropping good content on both channels. And probably, not even probably, definitely a third channel where we're gonna have a joint channel. But definitely check out both channels. Like he's building his channel up. My channel's already here, so if you're already here, you're already watching my channel. But yeah, so check his channel out and definitely be on the lookout for that third channel. But yeah, my parlay for this week is gonna be Ciryl Gane to start the pool. He's gonna wrap the parlay off, but I'm mentioning him first. So Ciryl Gane, that's my first person on the parlay. Second one is gonna be William Gomis. The third one is gonna be Jocelyn Edwards. So right now she's like, I think on BetMGM, she's like -110. So it's a pick and fight on BetMGM. And I think that's still of a value. And that's gonna bring that parlay up, into the plus money, pretty much off jump right there. So some solid value there. And I think a pretty good parlay. Is this my safe parlay? It's not, but it is the parlay I'm giving for this video. Yeah, so the parlay again, Ciryl Gane, William Gomis, and Jocelyn Edwards. And that's my 3-leg parlay. Now over to NickyBets for his parlay.
Yeah, this is my safety parlay. I'm pretty confident in what the 3 people I choose are gonna do. I got Gane inside the distance. I got Benoit over 1.5 and Farid over 1.5. And I think I go 2-2 this week. I think this week I hit all 6. I think it's a really safe bet, only because of the momentum of all these 3 fighters and who their opponents are. So my official safety parlay is Gane inside the distance, Benoit over 1.5, and Farid over 1.5.
All right, solid. So that's the video. That's the predictions. That's the picks. That's the recap. That's everything you want and need to know. And that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.